No, it's nothing on us. It's just that we're taking it upon them to just say that's what we get instead of there's no audit. I guess they audit themselves is just the caveat there.
$150 a door.
Yeah, and
1992.
And I know they fluctuate their floor. You know, I've been in the business for a minute, so they fluctuate the floor so it goes up and down. So at what time do we get the numbers? Do we get it? Yeah. So and so that's an annual deal that they pay, or is that monthly?
It's annual, and I think it's based on when your license renews per property, because we get them throughout the year.
Okay. Unfortunately, that's as far as I've got. So thank you. Thank you.
Is that it? Yes, sir. Okay. Mr. Shoemaker.
Just a couple of things. And I know we've discussed the millage increase, and at one point, kind of, I guess, behind the scenes, the hotel motel tax or fee was discussed. Are we looking at anything other than millage increase right now?
Well, three opportunities we look at, and update right now that all of the mayors got together last week and looked at possible gaming tax, back what we also taxing use tax converted for every $70,000 goes up sales tax, and we but take legislation. Another thing that I think the movement talked about within the mayors was a tax that would not require referendum. Y'all hear me now? Yeah, okay. And that would be from coastwide, a possibility, but it's going to take legislation to do that. But there's certainly a case to be made. I think MML's coming up in a few weeks. Right. And I know the mayors are going to, I think, like the Pine Belt mayors, they have the little association, and they express their, the desires, and these coastal mayors are in sync with what we need to do. We need help and to support the things that this coast is for. In boxing, we're hitting heavier than our weight. So we bring a little bit more to the table, especially when it comes to tourism. But almost everywhere else in the state has a tourism or occupancy kind of tax that could be applied, but to the people who use these services that we support at no cost, and especially with the special events we have. A tourism tax and related to tourism makes sense.
No, I agree, and I think we share the same issues along the coast with several cities. And for now, just lastly, I guess, taxes. And I know the county, I guess, reports to us at some point on taxes that are not paid, delinquent taxes. Mm-hmm. But do we know if we're getting our fair share of delinquent taxes? Is there a way to know that, or do we know that we're getting what we're supposed to get when these taxes are paid? Because I hear so many stories of businesses, large businesses, that have not paid taxes. And I mean, I don't know, I have not researched it, but I've heard, in the millions. And if we're not getting our share and they're here in Biloxi, I mean, is there something that we can do? Because that's a large amount of money that we would get in the city if we could get these taxes.
Well, as Diana said, we don't get a lot of assistance as far as information from the State Tax Commission. We could get some things to know, at least for the taxing districts A and B, for personal property and actually ad valorem, real property. We could get some information, but usually that would be meaningful after they've sold the properties on tax sale. We'll get that money as if it were paid on time with the interest and the penalty that would do to us. And we give up, what, 3%? Or what is it as far as for collections?
$3 on that.
$3 on each parcel. But we can compute that a little bit more. But we've got some traction on people who are delinquent on real property, not so much with personal property.
Vice versa.
No, we put a lien on ad valorem, not so much personal property. Yeah, oh no, it's delinquent, but we can't put a lien on the business. So I mean, we'll recover it directly or indirectly if it's a real property delinquency, because it'll be sold. the tax, the parcel or the property will be sold, but not sold for personal property.
But if it's a property that's open every day for business now, that's not paying their taxes.
Which taxes? Personal property would be things like on the stock or furniture, FF&A, furniture and fixtures and appliances. That's personal versus the building and the land it's owned. That's real property.
Yes.
We can lean on that.
Do we know these properties within the city that are not paying those taxes? Do we have a list, or can we get a list? I just think we're missing out on a lot of money that we should probably have gotten previously and now. And we're talking budgets, why not talk that too? Because I'm confident there's probably some businesses that we're not getting, is I guess my whole point.
So I think,
is there a way to
Councilman,
find that out?
If what you're saying, if I could try to restate, he's saying if they're delinquent, you're saying we could put a lien on it. He's saying, do we have a list of that to know when they do get paid, how do we collect on that lien? Is that what you're saying, David?
Property, I think we can request that list, and Sharon would give that to us.
Maybe we should do that to see what's out there, and that may be an easy way for us to collect some money this budget year. That's
Well,
just,
not only, and we're not in it ourselves either, because everything that they would be delinquent with the city, the county has a
Right.
responsibility of chasing that too. So,
oh, no, for sure,
Yeah.
absolutely. But I think that, I just feel that there's probably some out there that we're just letting linger out there that we may need to collect at some point. And for now, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shoemaker. So, gentlemen, I think we got our starting point. Our starting point is in that zone of 74 to 70 million dollars on the revenue on the top side. I think it was important. That was one of the purposes of this meeting, to let the full council know we have a beginning point. Now, can that change if we have more information? It could, but that is our starting point in the $74 million range. Going forward, we'll be unveiling all the departments like we normally do. And keep in mind, just on the interdepartmental, or the non-departmental, excuse me, we've set a goal to try to trim at least $500,000 out of the non-departmental. Why did we set that goal? I think there is some fluff in there that that is not have to have. That is kind of, some of those are nice to have. They're still difficult decisions because it's going to affect some non-departmental entities. But those will be the tough decisions moving forward, and not just that department, and all the departments, to try to get within that $74 million range. So I think we have a collective goal for this council. We'll go ahead and wrap this meeting up. We'll have a few last remarks, starting with Mr. Tisdale.
Thank you, Mr. President. Question, Diana. I noticed that we have, for example, a line item, Donald Snyder, that's line item 45. And then we have a separate line item for natatorium usage fees, that's 38. And then, let's see, do we have one, I think, for recreation? Well, that was recreation fees, 39. So they're all separated. Is that, and I'm just thinking this is revenue that comes in through the parks and recreation facilities or whatever, but I'm sure there's a reason they're separated, but I don't know why. And
It predates me, but it's good to
Okay.
separate it so that you can track the performance of each entity. The recreation fees is actually summer playground.
okay, so, all right, thank you. And it's good to track these things, but that's for the benefit of some of you who may have had questions. Thank you. That's all I have.
All right. Mr. Gray?
I would like for us to take a look on the non-departmental. I know we're trying to cut at least $500,000, but I think over the years, every time somebody's came, they've always raised what they want more and more. I think we should look at maybe cutting everybody in half to look at that way, to start with. I mean, it's something to look at.
Library,
Still-
CTA, all of that in half? Is that what you're
I mean,
proposing?
I'm proposing everybody.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah,
'cause-
I mean, because one is, we have to look at, our budget, what we have to do. So we have to cut services to some of our residents, so we're helping everybody out. So, I mean, it's something to look at, is what I'm saying.
Mr. Gray, just to put it in perspective, we got about 2.1, 2.2 in the non-departmental. Your proposal, you know, that, I mean, if we can find $1 million by going that route, that would help going forward. But those are the tough decisions as we got this starting point of 74 million. As we start looking into these each of these departments, those are those hard decisions that we have to make.
They're going to be hard, and it's a decision that we have to make for the good of the city.
Yep.
So, just my thoughts, and I just wanted to thank you.
Yes, sir. Anyone else? Mr. Tisdale.
Let Jamie go.
Mr. Jamie.
So to follow up on Councilman Gray's non-departmental, also if we could, as we do the non-departmentals at the end of the year, if we could get the in-kind donations for those that are requested as well. For example, if ABC nonprofit requested 10,000 last year and we gave them 10, but then throughout the year we gave them another 7,500 in fee waivers, if we could, in facility deposit waivers, whatever, if we could get those requests as well. That way we could take that into consideration. For example, if somebody's asking for 20, we gave them 20, and then we gave them another 10. Well, then next year we give them 10 in kind. So just something in order for us to take in and comprehend. The hard decisions, you're absolutely right. We got to make the hard decisions now in order to benefit later. If we keep kicking the can down the street, then we're just moving. We're not progressing. So, Diana, if you could just, I don't know, briefly explain transfers. The only reason I'm asking is because it comes off the bottom line. So,
Transfers are items that come out of the general fund or come into the general fund. This is all one number and it's all going out, but they can be netted together. So the MIMA money that comes in will be sent to the Capital Projects Fund. So the 4.4 million you see on here is in that 7.1. Then contractually, we are required to give $25,000 to the Baseball Maintenance Fund. $25,000 is coming out of there. The city did a sales tax rebate with Rouse's. It's averaging about $260, $270 a year. That's coming out of here to go back to the Economic Development Fund. And then health insurance is going to need about $2 million, and workers' comp and general ledger right now is at $500,000, and it could possibly need more.
and all of that is included in that 3.8. That
It's
is a
included
transfer.
in that 7.1. The 3.8 is a
7.1,
note
yeah.
proceed coming in to offset the expenses for the 2 engine and 1 ladder truck.
Right, so 7.1 is included with the tax rebate, everything that you just mentioned that's going to be transferred out.
Correct.
Okay.
And not a lot comes back into the general fund.
And then you had mentioned health insurance. How are we on collections with, from insurance?
For reinsurance, still waiting. We're probably at 1.4 million now outstanding.
Just waiting for that. And that's been for how long? Collecting for how long?
Well, I have 2 people from fiscal year 25, and then I've got about 6 people from 26.
And I guess there's no way to expedite collections. But they expedite payments and premiums, but we can't expedite. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Tisdale, do you have anything? Anyone else?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Marshall.
The delinquent tax, my brother already spoke about it. I do want to look more into that, trying to collect on that. My brother, Mr. Shudik, already spoke about that, but I'm not going to go any further with that. I do have a question about line item 83 and line item 90. Could you explain them to me?
83?
Yes, 83, short-term rentals.
I set up an account for short-term rentals so that we could track the progress, but the code isn't used in the community development department. It rolls into another account, and when someone picks that code, that's where you see money. So typically, it shouldn't have any money in it, but someone put $20 this year.
Okay, what account is it rolling into now?
To tell you off the top of my head. Let me see, these are in order. I believe it rolls into 4110, which is line 25.
Previous license?
Yes.
Okay, and then court fine, community court fines, 90.
When community court started, we set up a separate account for them, and Peter may have to explain this more than me. Community court kind of subsided, and now I think it's going out of the other side. I don't really know.
Which one?
Community court, there's nothing. We set up one court.
Yeah, that's all going into the general funds now. I think at that time we had we were doing special community court items, and they were, when fines would come in, I don't think it was a lot of fines, but they would come in through that. And over the years, we've streamlined that just to absorb that into the main municipal court.
So we no longer have a community court?
We do it more of on notices of certain housing. We do it as an adjunct to what Jerry is doing through here. Sometimes they'll come in. It's primarily a tool also to try to get the person in to work something out so it doesn't get to the council level. It's more of a proactive measure to bring the person in, explain to them why it's important to keep their property tidy. There's not always a fine involved, but there's more of instruction from the court.
Okay. Mr. Cree, I'll get with you on that later to see how that process works better. The next thing is this. It's important that we realize that every year, and then going forward, it seems every year we're going to be concentrating on cutting budgets. I can understand that. I'm a part of the process of that. I don't like it, but that's the way it's falling out right now. What we need to concentrate on also, as Mr. Weaver likes to say, we could do two things at the same time. We need to concentrate on finding ways to increase our revenue. Mr. Wayne and I have been working on the East Biloxi area. We know that there's a land mass there, vacant lots there, businesses there, zone ready. We've already paid for all the parking areas. We've already paid for all the sidewalks, beautiful sidewalks. We've already paid for all the water lines, but the water lines are going to empty lots, already there. We've already paid for all the sewer lines. The sewer lines are going to empty lots. The sidewalks are in front of empty lots. We've already paid for all the infrastructure, yet we have over 1,000 empty lots. Yet we're going to invest our tax dollars, Mr. and Mrs. Biloxi's money, to go out and clear cut many acres of land to build these same things that are already existing in the East Biloxi area. I want to ask the council members to help us to look at using what's already there and paid for as a way of saying, instead of building 1,000 houses, we could do both at the same time. But when we build that 1,000 houses that we just voted on, we can also, as I remember that, we got to build them also a fire station. We can do the same thing in Biloxi with 1,000 lots and not even have to increase our fire station. We already got 2 sitting there, already operating. We can do the same thing in East Biloxi to increase the income without having to go through all of the hard infrastructure investment that's already been paid for by Mr. and Mrs. Biloxi. We need to look at that seriously. We need to work on that seriously to say that is where the new development go at the least cost. To build 1,000 houses or 1,200 houses, but yet we spend more than it costs in infrastructure to build those, it's not, we can't make that math work. We've already got the infrastructure there. Let's look at that, and let's work on increasing our revenue without increasing our cost of generating that revenue. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marshall. Any final thoughts? Anyone? Mr. Tisdale? Yep, no, you're not sorry.
One more question, I apologize, I thought I was done. Diane, on line 40, special assessments, if you could give us a few examples of that for the benefit of the new council members.
At council meetings, when Jerry presents properties that need to be cleaned up and they don't clean it up, that's the fines associated with the city having to clean it up. It gets added to their tax roll, and that's what we should collect when they pay their tax.
Okay, so that's the only item, really? Okay, good, thank you.
What line was that?
40. Yeah, do we know where we are on the collections for that?
For 26,
Right, currently.
it's at, as of period 8, which is the end of May, is 21,000.
Okay. All right, good deal. All right, thank you.
Crew, you got a comment on the special assessments?
Yeah, what about collectively? Collectively, not just 26, going back.
Well,
We're-
regardless of what year it is, it's still posted to that line.
So, but.
I don't know the breakdown by year,
Yeah.
but for a couple of years, we were hitting 85 to 90% in collections. In the past few years, it's kind of declined. Some of the properties that I looked at that we have a lot of money outstanding have been turned over to the state, and I guess they're up for auction. And we should get that money once the properties sell.
Okay, and the reason why I was asking that is the 385,000 that were delinquent since 1996, if we get that money, would it go into
That line.
this year, right? But we would be able to claim it this year. We wouldn't have to amortize it.
Well, we have an allowance already built in a little bit. It would just reverse a portion of that, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Neal?
On 63, I seen that on there last year. What is that? The veterans here.
We get $500 a month from RW.
Oh, okay, all right, thank you.
All right. Any other comments?
Yeah, number 47, line item 47.
That is a cell phone tower rental.
I'm good.
All right. Final comments again. We got our starting point, 74 million. Mr. Marshall, thank you for your comments. I work with a lot of these developers, and I'm hearing there's a lot of interest in Ward 1 and 2. I think you're going to hear some major announcements that are very exciting for everyone, for Mr. and Mrs. Biloxi and everyone. All of Biloxi needs to get excited about our future. These budget meetings are tough. It takes experience. It takes a lot of focus, and we'll get this thing done, and the future will be very, very bright for Biloxi. Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Kenny, can I say something else before?
Yes, before we adjourn, yes.
Yes,
Go ahead.
I'm surprised no one brought up line 4,
All right,
solid
bring it
waste.
up, bring it up, let's talk about it.
solid waste. We got our numbers from HCUA, and they have gone up. So what we're going to pass to the citizens is going to go up. We have a small increase in houses of 156, which drives that number up a little bit, but we're looking at going from $25.50 to $28 a month in trash pickup.
Okay. All right, well, that's accounted for in our numbers, so that's
Yes.
good. All right, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Mr. Gray,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Nail. Any discussion? All in favor? Those opposed?